Hey guys, Angelo Esquivel here, back with another review, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Tetra Whisper AP300 fish pump. So, this fish pump is advertised as being good up to 300-gallon fish tanks. Now, there is a particular reason why I got this pump, and we'll go into that in a minute, but first, I bet you're wondering, is it quiet? Well, I can personally tell you that it is very, very hard to hear. I mean, even if we get close, I'm going to put my microphone really close to it. It's just got the slightest hum. You can barely tell that it's on. And that's really good, considering that I have a bunch of other Whisper products, or Whisper series products from Tetra, that are like the Whisper 60, the Whisper 100, that are nowhere near as quiet as this. And this puts out serious amounts of air. So let me explain to you what this thing is doing in relation to what it has taken over. So before, I used to run two Whisper 60s and one Whisper 100. And those three pumps have a total of 6 outputs. Each output would be going to one of the fish tanks, and each fish tank has a sponge filter. So there's 6 10-gallon tanks with sponge filters that need to be powered. So 2 outputs, one for each tank. But the problem with any sort of air pump that uses a diaphragm is the diaphragm does eventually go bad. So I decided, instead of replacing the pumps, which is apparently cheaper to do than buying the repair kit that Tetra sells on Amazon, you know, it's weird, I would just get a bigger pump. So for the price of 2 Whisper 100s, I can get one Whisper AP300, which is the big brother to the Whisper AP150. Now, there are 2 outputs on this air pump. Each output goes to a 3-way gang valve. That means I have 6, I can't show my other hand, but I have 6 outputs, and they're distributed evenly between these tanks. So effectively, with one air pump, I am producing the same, if actually not better, water flow than I did with simply using 3 air pumps. Now, I'd say that's pretty good. You might notice, like, this air pump or this air sponge filter is not putting out as much flow as the others. It's not that there's less air going to it, it's just that these dual sponge filters have a problem where sometimes they get a clog somewhere in the plastic piping and it just needs to be cleaned out. It's pretty routine for these things. But yes, the airflow is good enough to use for 6 20-gallon sponge filters. Now, these are 10-gallon tanks. These sponge filters are rated for 20-gallon tanks. You know, that's why it's a dual sponge filter. And it's working perfectly. And it's quiet. Really quiet. I actually haven't heard the room this quiet in a very long time. In fact, to prove it to you, I've got a Whisper 100 down there. And that Whisper 100 powers the air stones for this tank, but there's also a Whisper 100 in there to power the air stones in that tank. You know, I've got more than just the 6 10-gallon tanks. Now, let me plug in the Whisper 100. See, now we got it plugged in. Got some air coming out of there. But now, you can really hear that thing going off. That Whisper 100 is easily like 3 times as loud as the AP300. Kid you not. The AP300 is just better in every conceivable way. The AP300 does have a limited lifetime warranty. Now let me explain to you what that means. If the electrical components that power the system that moves the magnets connected to the diaphragm go bad, that is covered under the warranty. The diaphragms themselves are not covered under the warranty. So, just like any other product that has a diaphragm to move air, the diaphragms will go bad at some point. Those are normal wear products not covered under the lifetime warranty. Still, for the price and the performance that you're getting out of this particular pump, I am thoroughly impressed. I'm using less electricity to do the same amount of work. I'm using a less complicated and less convoluted method of powering all these sponge filters. You know, it just makes sense if you have the need for this kind of airflow. Now, normally this pump is supposed to be used for deep water applications where you've got a really tall tank and you need to force water all the way down in a tank. There's specifications for that. That's not what I'm doing. I need the raw output to make these sponge filters work. So that's my use case scenario. And, you know, 2 3-way gang valves, you know, 1 gang valve on each output, being dead quiet for like $30. Man, it is really hard to conceive a better value than this. Now, I've been using it for about 2 to 3 weeks now. I've been using Tetra Whisper products for years now. I mean, still got the boxes and everything, and I know this room's a mess, but the Tetra Whisper products are good products. It's just they do wear out at some point, and at that point you got to ask yourself, well, if you're in a scenario where you just have one pump that you need, like a Whisper 60 or Whisper 100, and that's all you only need one, yeah, just buy another one. They're like $15 on Amazon. The repair kit, it's like $15.50. Just get a new pump. Or if you have a lot of fish tanks, get a Whisper AP300 and split the airway and do it like that. Honestly, it's the best case scenario. So, if you need a powerful and quiet air pump to do a lot of work, the AP300, in my opinion, does a really good job at what it's supposed to do. So, that's my 2 cents, guys. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing.